through. I want to really feeling the twisting there going through. Leaving it across where the other one is. You can see how this is giving us much of the beginning stages of the drawing. Oh, I'm jumping into step 2 or 3. Just trying to feel. Really, the flow. Okay. Yeah. But come down in size. You don't have to draw very large. Yeah. Okay. Here, twisting. I'm literally drawing a twist. Oh, feel the shoulder lifting up. I want to feel that rib cage really pushing out, coming through. What's happening then is this drops down. We're getting a pinching that's taking place in here. So we want to be thinking it's going this way. We're going that way. So eventually we'll be getting a compression that's taking place as we start to pull. So that's the dynamics of what we will take and communicate things. As we develop the drawings, we want to take and the thing that brings something to life is the elements that we actually recognize in reality. And those elements can be more of the dynamics of how things like here, what I'm thinking of is just a starting point now, is that what you're really seeing is pushing down. We're getting a stretching on this side. This is compressing. So that the more I take and come in and start to push this and feeling this coming through, that's going to do more to take and communicate the action is because we're feeling this stretching. It's literally like a beanbag. Now we feel this coming through and start building. So right away you're focused on what the action is when I'm doing that. That's this stretching and the compression. That's much more important than taking and having just this shape.
Okay.
And so eventually you'll find you combine both of these things, but you need to feel the whole flow of how the things develop. Because when you're looking at the model, what you see is the way the scapula is shoving back down.
Yeah.
Right? So that becomes an issue then. See, so as you're looking I try to take and say, well, okay, we've got, this is pushing down. I want to feel that. Okay? And so I'm working on the dynamics of what the thing is doing rather than the shape particularly. So then we start to see this is coming back. So this is all I'm doing is recording my thinking about what it is that's actually going on rather than drawing it in what would be considered a more conventional copying what we see.
Okay.
So it's you're really recording. You're recording a whole series of actions that are taking place. Eventually, this will translate into a much more realistic type of thing. But this is the beginning. You're just trying to feel how these things move, what's going on, the dynamics of it. Okay, let's take now. When I look at what you're doing is, and this is the standard difficulty that people have, is that they tend to understate things. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you're looking at this now, and this is where we'll evolve as, like, actually next week we will evolve into this a bit more. But what's happening here is this is really fairly static in the shape. So what is he doing? He was taking and actually doing something a little bit more dynamic. So as he's doing this, in fact, we were feeling the rib cage pushing out. So as we start coming across, stretching through, and in here we would be taking and focusing on the pinching as the pelvis shift. Well, I don't know which way it did. I think it went up that way. So that you're feeling the dynamics of the thing as you're doing it, rather than at this point worrying too much about all the anatomy and stuff. That's secondary. And so as we come through, we're going to feel the pull, how this thing is going. Yeah, I've changed the pose because I'm looking at what you got going here. It's sort of the same thing. It tends to flatten out. If we look. What you're going to need to do is to take and really start focusing on the anatomy and how all these things. We're going to start looking at this. Okay, if the head was turned, which is implied that I think there. Okay, you're coming across and doing this. Then we're getting a real pinching that's taking place in here, near the ear. We're coming across. But that's more than I'm asking you guys to do at this moment. But it's still, it's
right.
What gets me there is the taking and feeling the form.
Establishing rhythm, or
yeah. So don't worry about the shape outside so much right now.
okay.
That's gonna take and do the best way to learn how to do a lot of this stuff is to draw from imagination. I mean, literally take and after in a half hour when he leaves, we're gonna set up my computer and I'll show you guys some examples and stuff.
But those are from my head, though. Those are from my head, though. The ones that you just saw.
Most of the stuff I'll be showing is drawing from imagination, yeah. But I just wanted to show you a lot of traditional examples of this stuff. Now, see this. Okay, let's look. Where is it there? So now what I'm taking is what I'm doing here now is I want to analyze feeling the neck. Oh, he's taking in. And here's where sometimes it's difficult because what I'm doing is I'm drawing here. I'm actually thinking of the spine on the back. But now I'm coming across and feeling this pulling out this way.
Right.
So I'm coming through. This is coming around. And here, and across. And feeling the pelvis is up. You can feel the pull. Shoulders up high. Going through, going around. Yeah. Hand here. Now I can take and come through. Now I'm working more toward the outside, coming through. Over. So, as you're drawing, and particularly now when you're drawing for imagination, is that you have to look at the drawing and visualize what's going on. So you look at your drawing and see how close to your conception that actually comes. And then as you progress with this, then you take and use, there's more. From here, for instance, then I could take and start thinking about, okay, there's a rib cage in here. And I would start to looking for that. And I'm going to feel the way the belly is starting to pushing out. And feel the pelvis is high, low, down in here. And we start to feel the compression. And going over. But you need to be able to do this from imagination as well. So I can say, well, okay, this has got to be dropped lower. So I'm constantly changing and adjusting the drawing as you're doing it. So don't try to block yourself in too fast. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have one of my drawing manuals here? Oh, got one? Let me. Now, I'm gonna read something while he's posing here. And what one of this is at the end of the introduction. And this is sort of my motto. From the age of 6, I had a mania for drawing the shapes of things. When I was 50, I had published a universe of designs. But all I have done before the age of 70 is not worth bothering with. I can understand that. At 75, I have learned, this is important, at 75, I have learned something of the pattern of nature, of animals, of plants, of trees, birds, fish, and insects. But pattern. Okay, when I am 80, you will see real progress. Right on. At 90, I shall have cut my way deeply into the mystery of life itself. At 100, I shall be a marvelous artist. At 110, everything I create, a dot, a line, will jump to life as never before. To all of you who are going to live as long as I do, I promise to keep my word. I am not writing this in my old age. I used to call myself Hokusai, but today I sign myself the old man mad about drawing. God. The idea of pattern, if we look at a leg, there's a natural rhythm and flow to it. So a leg, looking sort of front view, the outside of the leg is a curve, which then pulls into the knee. This is a straight on the inside, straight on the outside. And then we have the outside of the lower part of the leg, the low, pattern, high, low. So when you can automatically, when you're looking at the figure, there's a certain amount of the natural rhythm or pattern that we learn to recognize. And so like in taking and drawing that arm. So this part of the idea of the sort of rhythmical lines that I draw, if I look at that arm there, what you can see coming across the deltoid, triceps underneath. The top there, sort of the biceps is a straight. Then we pull into forearm, so you're creating a natural rhythm that got dealing with, and straight into the hand, and we start pulling. So once you get the pattern of how things work, it allows you to very quickly take and indicate things so that you're constantly focusing on the pattern of nature. So as he's taking and going this way through, we feel automatically now, this is sort of, as we're coming through, we feel this pushing down. Well, if the pelvis is going this way, you're automatically going to get a compression here. And so again, it's the pattern of going through. You can feel the flow. These are the natural way things go. So when I'm coming across, I'm feeling the inside. It's the pattern. So this, with the familiarity of your anatomy then, you can take in, so I'm basically using this whole rhythmical thing, but this is really something that's derived from nature.
Okay.
And then we can see it, and so as you're constantly working over the surface at the same time, we feel stuff. So this is beyond the shape, particularly. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Pattern. We feel the pull. That's the beginning, but you can see what I'm trying to, with the lines, I'm trying to make the feeling. So when I drew this, it wasn't anything. I was just really trying to feel the way how I could get out here by drawing a line. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then as I come back in, see that as we develop the drawings, then this will start to come in and we start to visualize these volumes. We start to build things one on top of the other eventually. And we start to feel the compression pushing down, feel this pushing up, and feel the twisting. And now I'm drawing a line that's dealing with the twist. So we slowly build. And on the other side, the compression, that buttocks holding the weight through.
Thank you.
Okay, now. Okay, you're still worrying too much about outside. And so you can even use the side of the pencil to do these. Okay, now, see, I'm just trying to, I want to feel the shoulders up high. So I'm not drawing, so I'm just feeling this lifting coming across. You can feel the body going through. Feel through. Feel, oops. Earthquake stand. Okay, just, okay, pushing off. So then as I come back, see, I'm just trying to feel where it's going to go. Go through. 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 Now, oh. So it's it's very nebulous feeling at this point. Just feel the flow going over it, everything pushing back, rather than trying to take and draw that outside line. So you need to relax with the whole thing that you're taking in. Feel flow. Feel the shoulder. Try to feel the lifting. Rather than trying to draw the shape so much, it's the feeling of the lift. Coming through and across. So it's the whole flow of the thing. So that we take, and then eventually then we will take and start to expand on that. And start to build. But the beginning stages of the drawing should be very free. You're just trying to feel the whole rhythm and flow of how the figure goes. Okay? Yes. Good. Okay. He's done. Now, let's take and I'm going to hook my computer up to the monitor.